Hi folks, I'm Matt with the Gadget Guy channel today here with special guest Gizmo, who seems real excited. We're doing an unboxing of the GPD Micro PC. It actually arrived several weeks ago when I was on vacation last month, and it's sat for another week and a half waiting for me to have time to do this unboxing video. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and open it up. This is how it came. Just just your standard brown box. Instead of saying it came from GPD, it actually says it came from Alex G. What do you think, boy? Not sure who that is, but anyway, and I have to give kudos to GPD for shipping it in record time. Took exactly 2 days to get from Hong Kong to my front door. So wonderful job that they did. Okay, so let's open it up here. Let's see. I assume this is supposed to come off somehow here. There we go. Alright, get that out of the way. Let's see, Gizmo's trying to chew on things. Let's get that out of the way. Okay. Let's cut it here. Okay. Alright, so what we have inside is a bunch of bubble wrap. Okay, just like a kid on Christmas Day, Gizmo's more interested in the box. Okay. Alright, boy, what do you think, huh? What do we got here? Okay. This is Gizmo's first unboxing video, so he's a little new at this. It's actually not my first, but it will be the first posted to the channel. I actually did a video a year ago. What do you think, boy? And it's still waiting for me to finish editing it. Unfortunately, I've just been real busy and haven't dedicated any time to it. But now, from what I understand, GPD always has kind of a minimalistic box, but they do it in a kind of an upscale fashion. That's kind of my experience here. Very minimal, but it feels like quality. It's just a box, but still. Okay, so here's the device. Oh, again, Gizmo is more interested in the box. Well, okay, boy, what you think? He's telling me it's quality. All right. So you know quality when you see it, don't you? So here we have the device itself. Let me set it aside for a moment. What else we have here? I believe there may be a user's guide in here. Again, it's got a real nice feel to it. It's kind of almost a rubbery texture. Good job for the guys at GPD. So yeah, it looks like can you read it, boy? Gizmo's Chinese is a little more up to date than mine. Okay, so a little bit of English too, but basically it's just a minimalistic user's guide. Let's set that aside. What else do we have in there, boy? Let's see. Looks like, oh, all right. Let me go get that. Check that out. Looks like we've got USB-C cable, so I guess a USB-C charger. Yep. Okay. Let's see here. The output is 5 volts and 3 amps. Okay. All right. So good. All right. So strong charger. We've got Gizmo approved lanyard that you can put on your Micro PC, and that's it. Okay, boy. There's the box over there. So here's the actual device now. It's 6-inch device. Okay. All right, what do you think, boy? He's okay. He's got it thoroughly checked out now. So what is really surprising about this device, it's really surprising to find it on a device of any size these days, but it's a 6-inch device and it's got a plethora of ports. So let's go over them real quick. So over here on this side, we've got a micro SD slot. We've got a USB 3.0 port. Okay, let's go around to the back. We've got a gigabit Ethernet port, RJ45. We've got USB Type-C, which my understanding is that it will not only be used for charging, but if you attach a docking station, you can output video and data and so forth. So it's a fully operational Type-C port. We've got 2 more USB 3.0 ports, but we have a full-size HDMI port, and surprisingly, something you don't see anymore these days, it has an RS-232 serial port. So for folks who are still using devices that communicate via serial interface, very helpful. Most folks these days have to carry a dongle around, is my understanding, to get a serial connection. So here it's built in. Over here on the right hand side, bunch of nothing really. It looks like there's just a microphone slot there. Yeah, it looks like there's just a hole for a microphone. On the front we have a microphone and headphone jack. Oh, Gizmo likes that. What is it, boy? Okay, Gizmo, I guess, ready to listen to some music. We have different tastes in music though, so oh, and plus the place for the lanyard's right here on the corner, so there's a spot for that too. Okay, so let's see, on the bottom there's just ventilation. Okay, so now to open the device. Okay, boy, he's checking out the box again. GPD might want to start shipping some dog treats inside the box. I think Gizmo would appreciate that. So, okay, let me focus in a little bit better on this. Okay, here we go. Now, to speak to the specifications of the device, it comes preloaded with Windows 10 Professional. You also can install Ubuntu if you prefer a Linux installation. However, you'll have to do that yourself. GPD will not pre-install a device with Ubuntu, but they have made available all the drivers that you'll need. The CPU on board is an Intel Celeron N4100 Gemini Lake processor. It's a quad-core CPU, 1 thread per core. The GPU is an Intel UHD Graphics 600. Let's see, it comes preloaded with 8 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM when the device was announced originally back in December. The prototypes came with 4 gigabytes of RAM, and the feedback that GPD received from reviewers was that just wasn't enough. So halfway through the campaign they announced it would be upgraded to 6 gigabytes, and then actually right at launch time they surprised all of us and let us know it would come with 8 gig. So the screen size is 6 inches, 6-inch device. It's Gorilla Glass 4. It's a glossy finish. It is not a touchscreen, so you're relegated to using the built-in trackpad up here in the right-hand corner. My understanding is from the reviews that I've read is that it works very well. The idea is that if you're holding the device in your 2 hands, you would use a thumb on the one trackpad, and you have your left and right mouse buttons over here, and then your center mouse button for scrolling as well. So it's kind of a nice touch. I guess it's a little bit more involved if you set it down and you try to maybe use it like a regular laptop, but I believe that they expect most people to use it like an old BlackBerry and use their thumbs for the most part. But you can do it either way. The resolution on the screen is 1280 by 720. My plan is to do a little registry hack to improve on that a little bit. I'm not going to go into the details of how to do that here. There's plenty of videos online and online articles how to do that. Just proceed with caution whenever you're messing around with the registry. The pixel density on the screen is 245 pixels per inch. The viewing angles, from what I'm told, are 178 degrees, so it should have good viewing angles. Something else that was omitted from this design was a webcam. So you'll see that there's nothing up here, and that was intentional. It's funny because 90% of the laptops I see in use today have a piece of tape over the webcam. So, so I guess a lot of people don't really use them, although it's there if they need it. In this case, if you need a webcam, you're going to have to pull out your smartphone or attach an external webcam. One nice feature, though, is that the keyboard is backlit. So if you're in a low lighting condition or even in the dark, you'll still be able to see what you're doing, which is a nice feature. I was glad to see that they did that. I'd prefer that over a webcam any day, quite honestly. The Wi-Fi that's supported is pretty much everything. It'll go all the way back to 802.11a. If anybody's still using that, B, G, N, and then AC. So everything that it supports everything current. It has Bluetooth 4.2, so any Bluetooth devices, you should be in good shape there. We've already covered all the ports. The dimensions of the device, and I'm reading off a paper now, so I'm not going to measure it myself. But from what I understand, it's 6 inches width-wise, and then it's slightly less than 4.5 inches deep. Okay, so front to back, and then it's 0.93 inches. Oh, Gizmo's getting fur on here already. It's 0.93 inches tall, so just under an inch. Let's see what else we have here. Oh, also kind of a nice feature. It has this little button right here, which you can use it to turn the fan off and on. So you can have active or passive cooling, whatever you prefer. Personally, I'm just going to leave it on, but if anyone's bothered by the fan noise, you can switch it off and just use passive cooling. Just keep in mind if you're really pushing the CPU, it might throttle back the speed a little bit. The product was first announced in December of 2018. It was first available to back on Indiegogo through crowdfunding in February of 2019, and they finally shipped and we received them in June of 2019. So I'd say that that's a pretty good turnaround time, especially for such a small company that's really done so much for UMPCs. Not that the UMPC market had completely died before GPD came along, but there really wasn't a whole lot of activity there. GPD's led really a resurgence in that area. This is their, I'm not positive, 5th or 6th UMPC that they've released, and that's since 2016. So they've been doing a great deal for that niche. They had the GPD Win and Win 2, which was primarily for gaming. And then they came out with the GPD Pocket and Pocket 2, and that was more of a, I guess you'd say, a netbook replacement, real small device that the name says it all. You could fit it in your pocket. And then I think there was a device thrown in there somewhere, the GPD XD. I don't really know a lot about that particular product, but needless to say, they've been real active on the UMPC front. And I think they just recently announced their GPD P2 Max, which I believe is a 9-inch netbook device. So this device, I believe they're targeting to people in the IT field, for one, network administrators, that sort of thing. I'm in the IT field myself, but I'm more of a software developer, and I don't have a need for a serial port, but I mean, I think it's cool that it's there. But people that do a lot of networking or that interface with a lot of networking equipment, I think they'll probably find that to be real handy. They won't need to bring any dongles. And there's other fields. I understand in the construction field there's equipment that still uses the serial port and so forth. So anyway, I just like the size of it. I haven't always been a big fan of small devices. Actually, back in the late 90s and early 2000s, I was always buying the next biggest laptop that came along. I think my most expensive one was my first generation Dell Inspiron in 1998 that cost me $4,250. And well, when it costs that much, you remember. So that's why I have that figure on the top of my head. But I would say by the latter part of the 2000s, I started to more appreciate some of the smaller devices. I wasn't aware of all the UMPCs at that time. As a matter of fact, netbooks came along, and I really didn't even notice at first until I think it was Christmas of 2009. Now I'm going to have some... Oh. All right, Gizmo, what do you say, boy? Yeah? You like it? Yeah. Yeah, that's... Believe it or not, that's how he looks when he's very impressed. So Gizmo approves. Now I'm going to be posting links to some other videos down below. One of which includes another unboxing video for this device, actually by Tong Zhu. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Tong is quite a UMPC enthusiast and has an extensive collection. And in his unboxing video, he did actually compare to several UMPCs in his collection, especially ones that maybe had a similar form factor and layout. I have one device that's very much like one that Tong mentioned. I have a Fujitsu Lifebook U810. He actually has the successor product, the 820. But the layout's very, very much the same. And you put these guys next to each other, and they do look very similar. There's slight differences. But they have, I think, more in common than less. The pointing device in the Fujitsu on the GPD, instead you have the trackpad. Both have a fairly cramped keyboard, but they have good tactile feedback. I'd say actually the GPD has slightly better. But you have your left and right mouse buttons on the left-hand side. It's another device that you would probably pick up and use your thumbs, especially when you're using the pointing device. But I'd say maybe the Fujitsu's maybe a little bit easier to sit down and try to type the normal way, but again, very, very similar. The Fujitsu actually has a leg up, I guess, on the GPD because it's a convertible and it turns into a tablet if you want to use it that way. But that's something that's not important to me. So the lack of that functionality on the GPD really doesn't make any difference. What will make a difference is that the GPD's got a much more powerful CPU and more memory. The Fujitsu maxed out at 1 GB of RAM, and the GPD, as I mentioned, has 8 GB, and the CPU, the Atom CPU inside the Fujitsu is kind of anemic. So, but it's a really cool device. I'm later going to try to install Linux on it because I think it'll be a much more useful device with Linux instead of Windows 7, which is a real hog, and this just doesn't have the resources to keep up. I'm not going to redo things that Tong did, and unfortunately I don't have the collection that he has. But I was going to mention, my daily driver here, my old Asus EE PC. Now it's hard to tell because I have a cover on it. I have Velcro on it. That's when I don't have internet, I have my phone Velcroed on there to give me internet service, and I have the battery out right now. But I have a keyboard cover on too. I really love this little netbook, and when I bought it in 2010, early 2010, I bought it to support me on the road because I was out of town all the time doing consulting work, and my wife and I own an IT staffing company and have for over 22 years, and so I had my responsibilities there too, and I needed something really portable, and that's when I started to appreciate the smaller form factors. And then I came across the Asus EEE PC, and I thought it was just what I needed. Unfortunately, the hardware specs on these netbooks weren't fantastic. Running Windows 7 on it just brought it to its knees. So it did help me, but it wasn't a fantastic experience because of how limited it was. However, several years later, I did load Linux Mint on it, and it just brought new life into the laptop, to the point where now, many years later, it's still my daily driver when I'm on the road. I'm kind of hoping that the GPD Micro PC may take over some of those duties, but the EEE PC has been fantastic, and with Linux Mint on it, it's just so much less of a hog than Windows, and what used to take 5, 6, 7 minutes to boot up with Windows 7 and to do anything on it just took forever, is just really snappy and responsive now, and Linux it's a wonderful operating system. So, and to show you the difference between what was considered a really portable device in 2010, 10-inch device. Well, here's the Micro PC, and you see how it's just so much smaller. And I expect it to be that much more portable. And then if I go ahead and close it, excuse the glare there, the cover is glossy. You can see just how much smaller the GPD is. This EEE PC that's been so portable and mobile and convenient for me, now compared to just how small the Micro PC is, and it's got much more horsepower. Don't get me wrong, it's not a gaming device or something you're going to be editing videos on, but for what I need it to help me run a $3 million company, or to just personal things, keeping up with email, or using it for office, or just or browsing or streaming video. I think that this device is going to be more than capable, and everything that I've read about it supports that assertion. This has been an unboxing of the GPD Micro PC. I'm really looking forward to using it. I think it's just a great combination of things for a portable device. If you have any questions, please feel free to post questions down below. Please keep in mind that this is one of my very first videos. It is my second video, yes, but it's the first one I'm posting. So be kind in your comments. There's always room for improvement, especially when you're just trying something for the first or second time. So anyway, but any questions, certainly post them. I'll do my best to answer them. And have a great day.